What's going on, YouTube fam? This is Karthik, and I got my good friend Charles over here. As you can see him on the video, this is us. We're trying out something new today. We're going to be talking about a new subject, and this is a friend of mine, Charles, and we've been listening to Subliminals for quite some time. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Charles. I've been using the Subliminal Club Subliminals for I think it's been about 9 months now total. They've completely changed my life, so I'm here with Karthik to talk about them.
Cool. Yeah, we actually had the opportunity to be testers of the Subliminal. And I personally have been using Subliminals since like 2014. I want to say, yeah, December of 2014, I actually started using Subliminals by this company called Indigo Mind Labs. That's where I started off. I started off using the Alpha Male Subliminals and went on and used a few others. And the Subliminals back then, man, they made me a believer because my life actually started changing. Has your experience been similar?
Yeah, they changed a lot once I started using those Subliminals. Now I have a couple of caveats about using them, but back then those were the shit. I love those.
Because who knew, man? Just pressing play on an audio device and listening to something on headphones every day for a few months can actually do something to reprogram your brain. It's kind of cool how that stuff works. I know, I was kind of skeptical about this stuff when I first heard about it. I was like, you know what, this may not work. But I was like, you know what, let's just give it a shot. What do I got to lose, right? So here we are, 4 years later, coming up on 4 years later, and vastly different life. Yeah, like you said earlier, you started using Subliminal Club. Subliminals. How was that? What's your experience been with Subliminal Club?
I started using them probably in the roughest period of my life because I just gotten out of a psych hospital. So I was low, in the dirt. I'd credit Subliminal Club with helping me through the worst period of my life up until that point. So it's done quite a lot for me. Definitely. I don't know. I don't want to say I wouldn't have gotten through it without Subliminal Club, but I definitely did it to a higher quality and more satisfactory ending than if I hadn't had Subliminal Club.
Nice. So it's kind of like what I refer to subliminals and pheromones and other stuff that I use is little cheat codes or secret crutch. It's not a crutch, but it's like a leg up against other people. So I love hearing that, man. For myself, the subliminals actually helped me with not feeling comfortable with who I was in my own skin. That's a pretty big thing that's been with me my whole life. To be just scared of other people, to small degree scared of other people, scared of what other people think, fear of success, fear of failure, all this stuff, and part of what the Subliminal Club subs have done for me is that it kind of eased all of that out, because the Subliminal I've been using is Ascended Mogul, and that one in particular, it aims you at becoming not only an alpha male with status, it also points you in the direction of becoming an entrepreneur. And to be either one of those things, an alpha male, a person with status, or an entrepreneur, you have no room for failure, fear of success, all that stuff. So it's the subliminals actually kind of eased that stuff out of my life and made me feel okay with just who I really am.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've obtained more and more certainty in who I am and just more expressive of who I am using these subliminals, definitely.
Yeah. So I heard, have you used those Talmadge? I don't know how to say his name, Talmadge.
Yeah, his subliminals are pretty good. I've enjoyed quite a few of those. I can never use them for the full recommended 21 days, but whenever I have used them, they've been quick to work. I don't really think, from the results I've heard, it's nothing like Subliminal Club's results, I would say. They're quick to work, but I think long term, what people have reported is that they're not as strong results wise.
So it's it works while you're using them and then stops working when you don't, or what did you mean?
It works immediately when you start using it, but the power of it, at least compared to what Subliminal Shop and what I've now experienced with Subliminal Club, it just doesn't match up.
Okay, that's a good point. I've actually personally never experienced Telmatch, or I don't know how to say his name, but I've never used those subliminals just because, when I had the opportunity to test Subliminal Club Subliminals, I was like, all right, cool. It's a new subliminal company that's starting to do their thing. Like, I mean, to anybody who's watching this video, I highly recommend you check out their website. Like, it's freaking dope, man. Like, the creator of Subliminal Club, he really did his thing. But anyway, like the whole way that Subliminal Club is like operating their business and the people that they're gearing towards, it really vibes with where I'm trying to go in life. Like I see what they're doing and I'm like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. So like when I had the opportunity to test their subliminals, I was met with excitement, right? So I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. So it started off really simple, man. Like honestly, when I first started listening to Ascended Mogul, I didn't really get much of anything. Except 2 weeks later, these things started happening, and what it told me was that like the Ascended Mogul has been working this whole time. It's just I wasn't consciously aware of it, which is what a true subliminal is like, kind of supposed to do. It's supposed to be like in your face necessarily. It's good if it is, but this one specifically, like 2 weeks after listening to Ascended Mogul every day, I got this email from an affiliate program that I'm a part of, and I saw this commission sitting in my affiliate account. I was like, okay, because I had worked on this project a year prior, and I hadn't seen jack up until that point. And it coincides with 2 weeks after I start listening to Subliminal Club, and all of a sudden I start seeing commissions roll in. I was like, okay, I see you, Ascended Mogul. You're doing something in the background. I see it. Like, man, that was like my first awakener.
I started on Ascension. I didn't start on like Ascended Mogul, but I remember the first day that I listened to it, like the first week that I listened to it. I had an appointment with this lady, and she was sitting in a chair, and she was trying to take her jacket off, and she was staring at me like very intently, trying to take her jacket off, and she like couldn't keep her eyes off me, and she kept missing her jacket on the back of the chair, and she like go and adjust it, and I was just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? And then later on in our appointment, she was like, it was a therapist, and it was like a really inappropriate comment, in my opinion. She's like, do you have a girlfriend? And I was like, no. She was like, well, you'll never have trouble attracting a girl. You're really good looking. And that was the last appointment I had with her. Like, not because it creeped me out, but like I had like other appointments to go to, and I was like, it's kind of weird. I don't want to go back there, if I have other options. Like, yeah. So that was
man. I remember when you first mentioned that story, I was like sitting there reading what you were typing, like, dang, what? That's so cool.
Yeah. It was some shit. It was my first taste.
So you did mention that you were at your therapist. I know you mentioned to me before in private that you've actually had a lot of healing emotionally and psychologically, I want to say, with these subliminals.
Yeah, it's the description, it just says like alpha male or status or whatever, but I mean, to achieve that, you need a good deal of like emotional health, and it's helped me a lot with that, like a ridiculous amount. For like the first time probably since adolescence, I took this like depression questionnaire, that rates your level of depression, and I got, I wasn't depressed like for the first time since I've been pursuing therapy, or just since like high school, and that's a huge step up for me. I don't think, because just with Sub Club, it pushed me to just get everything that I could control in my life. It got me to actively take control of it, and that helped me a lot to just get out of depression and stay out of depression.
Dang, Charles, like it sounds crazy because like that's not even in the description of the product.
Yeah, exactly.
Really cool. But like that's a profound result, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's just like the Subliminal Club difference. Because like when I was using other subliminals, they were very hard on whatever goals the creator had set. But Subliminal Club, like Ascension, it's about being your own kind of alpha male. For me, that means being in good mental health. It doesn't mean, you know, being like a bodybuilder or like fucking a lot of women. My goal is to have good emotional health, and that's what it pointed me towards. And like for you, you're getting affiliate sales. For me, that's literally just going to work when I feel like not getting out of bed. It drives me to go to work, or it drives me to go to the gym when I really, really don't want to. And I've been in periods of my life where I just don't do anything. I feel like listening to Subliminal, it gets me to that extra step, which is a step that's different from you, but it's what's personally important to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned that it's different. It is different to a degree, but I experienced something very similar. Like a couple weeks back, actually it was a couple months back now. We had this crazy overflow of stuff going on at work, requiring like 2 shifts to be created. So I was actually working from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So it's like 13 straight hours, and I wouldn't have been able to do that, to be honest. Like, I've tried to work that long in the past many times, but I think there's something in Ascended Mogul where, like, if you have a drive for something, or if something up here, there's a spark to go get something, the fuel and the energy comes from somewhere. I don't know where it came from, but I was able to work those hours 5 days a week for, like, I want to say months straight. It was freaking wild. Like, yeah, I wanted to do other things, but there was work to be done. Somebody's got to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I've experienced the same thing, just in anything that I've wanted to pursue. Just like a constant stream of energy that allows me to do it.
It's like that movie Limitless.
Yeah, I feel like that a lot.
No way.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, just because of, like, I know for you, man, like, I've seen you grow a lot, because we've been friends outside of this video for like coming on 2 years now. So I've seen you grow a lot. Like, the majority of it's been the last few months.
Yeah. No, that's completely true. Yeah, I hadn't really made that connection myself, but I've undergone a ridiculous amount of change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, and it coincides with the Subliminal Club, because I mean, for the viewers that are watching this video, like, Charles and I had been using other subliminals concurrently, not the same one, but from the same makers, for like years now. But like, just these past few months, both of us have been on the new Ascended Mogul, and like, massive amount of change is happening in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, there's just quite a lot of stuff that before using these subliminals, I would have been like, I could never ever do that, and now it's just my reality. Like, I wake up and do it every day. It's incredible. I love that shit.
Yeah. So if you have like 3 or 4 bullet points, or like maybe 5 or however many of results that you've received from Subliminal Club, what would they be? Like, I'll just like name a list if you can.
The couple most important things to me is that, like, for a long time, I've not even by choice, maybe just like I was always that guy like that didn't have friends in high school, like, and that's always been something like where you kind of just grow used to it. Yeah, but like, you know, it sucks. Like, you wish you had like friends or like someone to go out and do stuff with. But like, since starting Ascension and Ascended Mogul, that's just people like have so much love for me. It's like ridiculous. It's like I don't even ask people to do stuff for me or like go out with me. They're like, hey, let's go out. And I'm like, okay. I just like tag along. It's for me, like, it's significant because I've never experienced that. Like, I've never been like that dude, and like I'm that dude every day. That people love to just come up to me and say hi or do stuff for me. That's one significant change. Let's go back and forth on this. What would you say?
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's say, for instance, giving me the ability to want to become a leader. I think it's something in the Ascension part of Ascended Mobile that I've been working at this company for many years, man, and I've seen the company grow from absolutely nothing to where it's at right now. Like for comparison, a year ago today, there was 10 people working. I was just another person working, but like we started getting orders repeatedly, and the workload started exponentially increasing. So somebody had to step up and be a leader and be a manager. Within the last few months, I went from being an employee with 9 other people to managing 23 people. And like to do that in such a short amount of time, it takes a lot of leadership. And you were just talking about not really having much friends in high school. That was me too, man. Like I didn't have many friends in high school, so I never had like this opportunity to be. I never grew up knowing how to be a leader, so like it's been really challenging, but like rewarding to be able to
Yeah.
learn this. What about you? Next one.
The second one, consistency, I'd say. At this point in my life, I've had 10 jobs. I started working when I was 18. I'm 22 now. So that's like 2.5 jobs a year. Just kind of cycling on through like depression and like other stuff. Like I'll either quit or get fired. Right now, I've been at the longest job I've ever had for 7 months, which is a good amount. Like it's almost a year. That's the most I've ever done. And just kind of waking up through whatever like I've been doing and making it to work. Because from December till the end of May, I was actually just sleeping in my car, which is hard physically, mentally, and like psychologically. It's even harder when you got to wake up and like, you slept in a parking lot in your car and you got to like go and do stuff. It doesn't make you very enthusiastic, but with Ascended Mogul and Ascension, it was something I was able to more than just get through, but like make the most of it. And that's the second most important thing to me, I think.
Man, I feel like you kind of just said that so nonchalantly, but the implications and like the profundity of what you just said, like you were literally sleeping in your car, dude, for 6
Yeah.
months. Like that's insane. Like there's got to be a lot that you've overcome and had to battle within that time period,
Yeah.
mentally, emotionally, just like socially.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. I remember one time, I crashed my car actually. I was working, I had a car and then I crashed it, like totaled it. I didn't have any place to sleep. So I was renting a car at $30 a day, which is basically like my entire paycheck. And I finally gathered enough money to put a down payment on a car and buy a new car. And those were like that was the hardest month of my life, just because I had no money. I remember I borrowed like 10 or 15 bucks from you, like just to buy lunch one day, and just to kind of get up from like shit, like that shit was just like regular, like for like months on end. Like there were days where like I starved, like I literally like I tried to eat candy one day, like I tried to survive on candy because I didn't have any money, but I had candy. Like I was throwing up and like I was having panic attacks, and just looking back on it now, it has to be like the craziest period I've ever experienced in my entire life. But like I got through it. Like not even that I got through it. Like I rose above it. Like I ascended above that shit. Like it's crazy looking back now, but that was just my life for like months.
Dude, that story gives me the feels, man. Like that's some crazy stuff. Like it trumps anything that I've even accomplished. Like kudos to you for keeping your spirit high. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah, man, it's been some shit. I really credit it, like, just with keeping my spirits high and, not faltering. Because I was actively, like, I should have been on meds. I was not on meds. Like, shit was drastic, like, mentally and everything else. And that I was able to find a way to power through something that I feel like people who were, like, mentally normal may have had a lot of difficulty with.
Mm-hmm.
It's very significant to me. Yeah.
Cool. You want to add anything else to your story with Subliminal Club or other Subliminals?
No, that was my point too, right? So it'd be your point.
Okay. Well, I guess I do owe you a point because we're going back and forth. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I guess go revisit the being comfortable in my own skin. So I actually started making a list. Like I don't know where this inspiration came from, but I started making a list of everything that I was afraid of, and I had about 2 pages worth of one column on each side of the page of just various things that I was afraid of. I started digging deep into it, like why am I afraid of success and why am I afraid of failure at the same time? That puts me in a position of being in no man's land. I can't move forward. I can't even think about the past. I'm like stuck and I can't progress at all if I'm afraid of both outcomes. So like being able to identify those, the fears, it helped me because the subliminals, what they do is they work on a subconscious level, which that's what subliminals are meant to do, is below the perception of the human mind. But consciously, I was inspired to take this action of making this list. And I feel like that was partly inspired by the subliminal itself. It kind of fed into this upward cycle of healing, and then that became confidence, and that became a charisma, and that became just like an overall strong-willed and uh, I guess strong personality.
Yeah, it did something quite similar for me too. Just that kind of growth you experience, just becoming more yourself. I never felt like it tried to make me anything else than myself, which I feel like a lot of subliminals did. Like they try to make you alpha, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's just it kind of pulls into you and brings out whatever inner strength you have, and then allows you to express it.
It's pretty dope, man. Other than that, I am pretty much good. I don't. I've pretty much said everything that I wanted to say. I covered what I wanted to cover. Is there anything else you wanted to cover as well?
No, I think we've covered quite a lot already.
Cool. Yeah, we had a jam-packed podcast conversation. So, all right, to the viewers who have watched this, I appreciate you guys. If you want to buy any of the Subliminal Club Subliminals, we have actually put a link in the description down below. Feel free to support us. It would really help us out for making this video and this channel. And until then, adios.
Peace out, guys.
Later, Charles.
Bye, Karthik.